All right, y'all, your girl G here. We are here and we made it to the finale of Love After Lockup slash Love During Lockup. I know I missed last week's episode, but it honestly wasn't that much. This season of Love During Lockup gave us just a little something, not too much. But let's go ahead and get into everything because I need to catch up and watch the finale, not the finale, the reunion to Love and Hip Hop Huntsville. Y'all know it's getting a little sticky over there with Kimmy, Maurice, and Melody at the moment. But nonetheless, you guys, love during lockup. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you're new to my channel, hey, how you doing? Appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure to go ahead and drop down in the comments. Let me know where you saw your girl at, where you found my videos, okay? And make sure to hit that like button, okay? Sorry if y'all hear my phone beeping. That's just my notifications. But yeah, y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and knock out Sam and Crystal because honestly, ain't nothing new with them. Crystal steady doing her thing of yelling at Sam for not showing up, and Sam's yelling back because he's like, girl, do you not understand? I'm working over shifts, like overtime. I'm working because hell, ramen noodles cost money. The shoes and stuff on your feet cost money. And not only that, I'm taking care of you and your grandma financially. I forgot that he moved, so he moved and bought a house and everything for this girl. But she's just kind of feeling like you knew how much this day meant to me. As she mentioned it, I'm like, okay, this was my, halfway mark, my 50%. Once you make half your prison sentence, basically you're up for review for, paroling early. And so she reached that milestone, and it's like, yeah, we get it that you made that milestone, but if he just got off of working, overtime and then still had to make a 6-hour drive, like, I guess she is right. Like, you didn't have to go to work. Like, I mean, but the thing is, like he's saying, like, but stuff costs money, so I need to go to work. So it's like he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. So nonetheless, she's upset about that, crying to him, and he basically says that he's gonna stay there beside her. He gonna stick beside her. If she don't get paroled or whatever, he's like 2031. When I got married, I decided to make sacrifices, and this is just gonna be, the sacrifices that I make. And I'm like, Sam, I mean, we don't see too many ride or die men on here. We always see the women being ride or die. So, Sam, if that's what you want to do, so be it, kid. But definitely know that you are in for a rude awakening with Crystal when she get out. Because she already driving you crazy and she ain't even outside. So yeah, we'll see what just happens with them in the future. Y'all drop down in the comments. Y'all think Sam is stupid for staying with Crystal through her whole, time in there? Let's go ahead and move on. So MJ and Willie slash Ami, y'all know that MJ went home to visit her mom or just to take care of her mom because y'all know she's sick right now. But while she's home, Ami of course hears that she's home. And all he thinking about is what happened last time. Because she was all drunk and in her feels, she got a sick mama, she's missing Willie or whatever. They just got in a fight or whatever. So then she hooked up with Ami. And so now here Ami, he trying to come back talking about, oh, I want my wife. And she's like, you're just playing right now. Ami, I know you don't really want me. And he was like, I want my wife. The way Ami was talking wasn't even with no conviction. Like, Ami was barely even opening his mouth. Like, Ami was literally sounded like his words was coming out, Ami. Like, he literally barely was opening his mouth talking about, oh, I want my wife. But I could have sworn last episode MJ said on the phone when y'all was talking that you with a girl right now. You got a girlfriend. So I'm confused. All he kept doing was just typical, just like F-boy stuff. You miss me. Niggas be like, I miss you. You miss me. You miss me. And just to basically be trying to like check the temperature. And it's like, MJ, you kind of like all keying and stuff, but you could tell MJ is just like seeing that Ami is just trying to take advantage of the moment because she's like, you really don't want me. Like, this is nothing to you because you'll say some stuff and then go back to your ways. And she did not like the fact that he was a heavy drinker and into the partying, and he just felt like he could live by his own rules, And so we see at the end that MJ, after that day with Ami, she called an Uber And she was like, you want me to go in your car? Or like, oh, she's like, no, I'm taking the Uber. He's like, no, you're not. He's like, send the Uber home. And she's like, you want me to get in your truck? And then he was like, well, you want to get in my truck? And I was like, MJ, so you doing stuff like that? You sitting here wondering why Willie ain't got no reason to be upset. But I mean, he was just playing along with it. And finally, I think MJ realized to herself, like, let me stop playing with this boy. So she gets in the Uber and she's like, bye, Ami, like, this is it. Like, for the last time. Basically, this was, MJ's closure conversation with Ami, I guess you could put it. So we see at the end of the episode that she actually hasn't spoken with Ami since, that last conversation that they had. And I ain't gonna lie, that's very much surprised me. Willie definitely was accusing her of, getting jiggy with Ami on the phone and kind of like, are you messing with homie? You messing with old dog? I ain't gonna lie. I thought he called him a nigga in one part. I ain't gonna lie. but I'm gonna let Willie slide. But MJ definitely, was just trying to convince to Willie that nothing happened. But obviously that's kind of hard for him to believe because the last time you did come down to see Ami, Ami was up in them guts. So, I mean, that's why Willie is absolutely nervous. So, but MJ was like, I'm not even going back and forth with you. She's like, because I know. So, you just going to have to believe me. And so, yeah, that's it with them. Let's go ahead and move on. So, Miss Savannah, Wanna, and Bradley. Savannah's basically just talking with her. I think that's her grandmother. Is that her mom that's in that house? I think it's her grandmother. Yeah, it's her grandmother. So, Savannah's just really kind of getting ready for Bradley because he is getting ready to get home. Oh, but before that, y'all, she was in the tattoo shop trying to play mental warfare with Bradley. So she goes to the tattoo shop and was like, I just want to see his reaction when I put the first letter down. And so she calls him and was like, look what I'm doing right now. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, I'm getting a tattoo. And so she showed the B at first. And so he's like, whatever you're doing, like, man, like, you do whatever you want to do. And so Savannah was trying to play this game of like, I don't want to do it. Like, I want him to tell me he wants him. Like he wants me to do it. Like, she was waiting for him because he pulled out of paying for her BBL. And so Savannah seems to be looking for just some memento of, I don't know, investment or just like, some type of profession of love for her. So she's in the tattoo shop literally going back and forth with him like, well, do you want me to get the tattoo? He's like, you're the one that brought it up. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, so he kind of did raise his voice a little bit, and the friend was saying like how she didn't like that Bradley did that. He did kind of get a little bass in his voice a little bit. And so Savannah also mentioned something about it as well. But her thing is, I'm just waiting for him to show just some type of real love for me. I don't believe in none of this like, basically, it's bad luck to get the tattoo of the person, it's always like a cliche. Like, you tattoo the person's name on you, girl, y'all ain't gonna be together. But Savannah's like, I don't care about none of that. I'll step on the crack, break your mama back. I'll go out here and kick a black cat if I have to. She was like, I don't believe in none of that stuff. She was just determined to have some, I don't know, like some type of hold over him in something in regards to like this investment. And like, she did it out of wanting him to say that he wanted her to do it, but then you did it anyways. So what was the point of asking him if you were going to do this shit anyways? Like, it just was so ass backwards. But she gets the tattoo, y'all. And so he basically was just kind of like, you gonna do whatever you want to do, bye. And Bradley basically was like, I've been in relationships and I understand, like, yeah, it's good right now, but like, I'm also realistic, aka he finna get out here and act a plum fool. And so why sit here and have all this investment in you when I know it's just gonna go sideways, when I get out here. But she's at her grandma's house, y'all. So we find the backstory of how they can afford such a nice house. Her grandmother, after dealing with her grandfather, their whole family is just full of just addicts, okay? Or alcoholics. Her first husband was an alcoholic. She got rid of him, moved to another place, ended up marrying a dude out of a company, out of a school or something that they worked at together. They started a company and then sold the technology. It was like a security software, and they sold it to the FBI. So, they got a little coinage, okay? which is why Savannah feels so comfortable, which is why I see why Bradley's like, why don't you get your family to pay for it, for your BBL. But nonetheless, here she is talking to the grandma like, okay, would you be okay with him, coming here? And she's like, yeah, I don't mind. She's like, for right now, like, I'm gonna stay here, and I think he was gonna stay with his family, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. But then, Savannah, you lost your ever-loving mind when she had the nerve to ask the grandma if Bradley could have a key. Grandma looked at her like, bitch, I barely let you get a key. Your mama get a key. Because she's like, you literally had to prove to me, like, earn that you deserve the key to this house. Because, she had to call the cops on her at one point, Savannah, because she was bringing, her little addict friends back to the crib. And grandma wasn't having that. So I just thought it was real crazy that she had the nerve to ask for this man to have a key. Like, girl, you don't know this man? Like, pushing it. That's what it was. She was pushing the boundaries. Yeah, your man can come over and stay tonight, but then he feeling so comfortable, he got a key to just come up and out the house. Like, I don't know this man and then he just gonna come up and like, yeah, like, girl, my whole face just like twisted, like, girl, what? But we see Savannah basically on the road to go pick up Bradley. They're actually going to be on the next season of Love After Lockup. So we're going to see the continuation of Savannah and that soon-to-be shit show, because that's what we know it's going to be. Moving on. All right, you guys, we are on to Jakeema and Donny. I just first want to say, y'all, I really adore Jakeema. I really, really do. But how do I say this? Jakeema, you getting played, honey. I feel so bad because I adore her story. I adore like her twin boys, but she is the cautionary tale of what happens when you invest your kids and stuff way too early. So y'all, basically this episode, Jakeema has to tell her dad that the truth about Donny, because she lied and said Donny was in the military. That's why he's over in Hawaii. That's why basically they can't see him. But now, because Donny done caught this extra case and his time is going to be prolonged, she can't hide it for a whole another 20 months about a man that, is in the wind, basically. So she tells her dad that Donny is in prison. He's locked up. Of course, he wants to know the usual. What happened? How did he get locked up? How long he down for? And she tells him, and she was like, it was just supposed to be 6 months, but now he caught an extra charge. They moved him, and he potentially is going to get 20 more months. And the dad's like, well, damn, that's 2 years. And it pretty much is. And so she's like, I don't know what to do. She went outside to play with her sons, and her sons, basically told her what's up. Like, they miss Dallas. They miss being around cousins. That is one thing that is so hard about watching the show. And one of the things that kind of makes me upset is when you do see how, like, the decisions of whoever's in it, like when they drag their kids into it, it's like, shoot, if you want to be delusional in love, so be it. Do that for you, boo-boo. But like when kids get involved, like I just really feel some type of way, because now, as she says, like it's literally just her by herself in Oklahoma while everybody in her family is in Dallas. And so now your kids are basically like by themselves. Luckily, there's 2 of them, so they have each other. But it's like all of y'all are just stuck in this place waiting for Donny to hopefully tell you the truth about what he got sent to the hole for and how long he's going to be, stuck in jail. So Jakeema actually ends up going back home, flying back home to visit the family. She sees her dad or whatever. And when she was visiting her dad, Donny ends up calling. And kind of find out, y'all, Donny said he gonna sit there and ask, I guess, Jakeema's dad for her hand in marriage. I guess while she was there and with him, she damn near dropped the phone when he asked her. And so you could tell the dad was a little thrown off. And this is like one of those peculiar situations when a lot of the times, in the back of either like a parent's head, a dad's head, like they know this is a bad decision, but they just say it because they love their child so much. They just give an approval. And it's like, I'll just be there for you when you fall. Basically, when this all blow up, I guess I'll just be there for you. And it's kind of the energy that her dad is giving at the moment, because Jakeema said that her dad ain't like none of the dudes that she dated. And it makes sense because you ain't picking the right ones. She ends up telling a story about how she previously was in a domestic violence relationship, and that's actually when she lost her brother, which is super sad to hear that news. That's why the dad wanted her to move back, and also his grandkids as well. Like, you know, especially after losing a son, his twin boys is very important to him. But Jakeema was fortunately in a bad relationship, and she told her brother, and he actually was coming down to help her get out of it. His passing helped her find the strength to move on and leave that relationship. But Jakeema, it's time for you to address, why you keep picking very much unavailable men. And Donny doesn't seem as the worst of inmates that we've had on this show. He actually financially is contributing. When she moved, he paid for the move. Like, we ain't never necessarily seen that on this show, but that also leans more into why it's like, okay, are what the people saying on the papers true? Are you procuring drugs inside the prison? And that's how she's getting caught up on the list, because now she's on the no visitation list. And if you in Oklahoma and you still can't see this man, like, what's the point of being down there? The dad is absolutely right. If you can't see this man, what's the point of being down there? But he asked for her hand in marriage, y'all. She's super excited. I think Donnie's doing everything he can to prolong Jakeema waiting for him. That's how I feel. So daddy said yes, but Jakeema, we see in the update, she basically is back in Oklahoma, and he proposed to her. Y'all, it's been 6 months and still no hearing. Just the hearing itself about getting back on the visitation list. So, and then he proposed. So it's given, he proposed after a long time to get her to stay. Like, we already know this game. I really feel for Jakeema. I don't know what the update's gonna be on them if they end up on, Love After Lockup, because he potentially gets out. Who knows? But y'all drop down in the comments. Y'all feel like Jakeema should go back to Dallas? Y'all feel like she needs to take her boys and, give Donnie the deuces? And do y'all believe that he, is big Donnie in the prison? Is he big, cocaine seller? But yeah, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next couple. So y'all, on Tia and Rob, basically Rob is literally still on his first day out, if I'm not mistaken, his first or second day out. And y'all know the family is down, so they are now getting ready to take Tia's daughter, I think her name's Nala or something like that, to Long Island. I guess just to hang out for a little bit and give Rob and Tia just a little bit of time. She bought the hotel night for one more night or whatever. So Rob, he on the move. He not only a nigga out of jail, but and he a New York nigga. I was born in Queens, so just hearing how Rob talk, how he move, the way he with the, what's up, mommy, like all of that, just listen to me, like, I'm like all of that. Literally, I know it to a T. These niggas from New York, they'll sweet talk you to death. And that's what he was trying to do after he done took his walk around the corner with his brother, and T on the phone. Talking about what you doing. He's like, man, I just walked to the convenience store. God dang, I just took a lap around the street. The brother's sitting there listening to everything that T is saying, and she's basically just giving annoyed. Not only that she can't lay up with her boo thing, but also probably because she still ain't get a healthy helping of some of Rob's Lil Rob. Okay, some of that Z90. So some of that prison Zeke, okay, that's what T has been looking forward to. And Rob is basically just treating her like she always gonna be there. And that's kind of how dudes treat most of the women that they know does so much for them. Like, they treat them like you gonna always be there. So when Rob finally get back to the hotel room, she's pissed off, and he's like, man, I'm just like, like, I'm trying to move and shake, see everybody. And this is where I always go back and forth when we have situations like this, where like the woman is like wants all the dude's time, and it's like, dang, like his family is like, girl, the family was there before you. But I don't know, maybe because it's in this particular situation where I think it's like, because from my understanding, Tia, she made it seem like they only had one night left in the hotel room before he had to go back to Harlem, and she had to go back to her where did she go? Long Island or whatever. So I could see why in Tia's mind it's like, let's just chill, be with each other, enjoy each other for one last night. But Rob, he's sitting there thinking like, man, you want to do all that lovey-dovey shit, bitch? I ain't worried about, kissing and hugging and cuddling. We can do all that when we get back, okay? Like, I ain't trying to do that right now. And she was like, I'm confused how you're not understanding what I'm saying. Like, he's like, well, what do you mean? I don't see what the problem is. Like, and then he did that shit that annoys me too, where people want to act like the problem is not the actual problem. Like, Rob wants to make it seem like her problem is, well, why can't I go out? Like, why I ain't, well, what's the problem? Why can't I go out and, hang out with the people on the square or whatever, and it's like, that's not the actual problem. The real problem is like, you not making the time for her. Sorry, y'all, got a call. Everybody always want to call me when I got something to do. But yeah, back to it. Tia and Rob. Long story short, Tia is highly frustrated, sexually frustrated, mentally, emotionally frustrated. And then she kind of caught him with a gimme gotcha. She's like, here you are, trying to put your clothes on and go out and see everybody else who honestly didn't even put the effort that I put in to see you. And then finally he kind of stopped him and was like, yeah, you know what, right, Ma, you all right, because you have done so much for me and sacrificed for me. And it ain't that really the ironic how it always be all the time. You get out of prison and the first people you want to go see is the people who really didn't give a damn about you when you was locked up. The same thing happened to Rob. When Teeny came out, threw him a welcome home party, didn't nobody give the damn just to show up. Like, his own mama barely made it, but his cousins and sisters and all these, your brothers and everything want to sit there and have a problem with you, but y'all ain't want to show up for him. And it's kind of the same thing with Rob. Like, you want to be seen about town. Yeah, you just got out, but dang, you can't even give a couple of hours to the person that, really was, holding you down. But Tia, she's, obviously insecure from her previous relationships. And after they end up fighting, he just ends up leaving. And Tia goes out in the hallway and cries. And she's like, I really, was just expecting so much more out of this man. Like, I really thought he would consider the things that I want, and it's like, yeah, would y'all have had time after y'all went out to Harlem to come back and, cuddle and whatnot? But let's be real. Rob was going to go out about town and stay out all motherfucking night. He's one of the, just, 10 more minutes, just 10 more minutes. Next thing you know, 10 more minutes and turn into 2 more hours. Like, he one of them. Because when you a nigga about town from the street, like Harlem and stuff, it's always on the block party. You stay out by the bodegas, okay? But yeah, so we see in the update with Tia and Rob that they not together. Rob then got with an ex and moved down to Miami. I guess it's really a good thing that she didn't have him paroled to her house, because when he called to ask, if he could do this, she was like, no, not yet. But still at the same time was worried about, she's like, yeah, that's your main bitch, huh? The one that you paroled to. Because she's like, I don't know nothing about her. I still don't know who she is, the information. He's like, why you acting like you ain't gonna see that? But I mean, that's the thing, Rob. Yeah, you talking and stuff, but that's what a lot of you niggas do, just sweet talking. We ain't even seen really the girl who it is or nothing like that. So do y'all believe Rob was legit with whoever he was staying with? The fact that you moved immediately to Miami means you had old girl in the pocket already, waiting for you to get home. And she says in the update that Rob is steady trying to get at her, but she ain't answering. So at least that's good for Tia. She stayed strong. But a lot of you girls need to learn, quit messing with these Negroes in jail. And from one, lost in love girl to a nigga in jail to another, let's go ahead and move on to this last big couple. So child, long story short, Hunter ain't shit. He ends up breaking the news to Kaleigh. Y'all know Kaleigh, the other girl. Y'all, these girls live 10 miles from each other, literally 10 miles from each other. So he basically has to break the news to her, like, we no longer can go together, because Kate let Hunter know she talked to the lawyer. And he basically gave her a tip, like, if he's trying to get out, it's not going to look good if they see, basically like on his call log, a whole bunch of women's that he's scamming. And because at the end of the day, that's what's happening. Hunter, you are love scamming, okay? That's what a lot of them niggas in prison do. And Kate, at the end, I really thought you had pulled a checkmate, but you really are just a bitch in real life. Like, just a bitch, because she basically told him to sign up, and he, went along with it. Kate knows that in order to get money at these women, they got to believe that they're in a relationship with him. Her thing was to keep it within the confines. Instead, he was having Kaleigh come all up in the visits. Not only that, was giving him, some hand jobs under the table. Like, she was like, that's not what we agreed to. He's like, I'm just trying to clear my conscience, Negro. So he called Kaleigh after that because, he ain't trying to jeopardize his time to basically break it off with her. So now she crying in the salon. So she's like, what do you mean? Like, I don't, what are you telling me? And I'm like, girl, is it not clicking, Kaleigh? He don't want you no more. Like, she was like, so that's it. Like, you're just breaking up with me. Yes. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm going with my ex. He basically made up, I'm getting back with my ex-girlfriend, instead of having to tell the truth of, basically, girl, I've been playing you this whole time just so I can get some money in my pocket. So she crying, and she basically run on home. The friends, of course, are there to support her. They're like, of course, we weren't trying to be proven right, but like, Hunter was a piece of shit and we knew it. Kaleigh, her thing is like feeling embarrassed. She's like, I really do feel embarrassed. She was like, I don't want to hear the I told you so. I told you so. She's like, I'm a good person. Yeah, Kaleigh, and that's why you got played. Unfortunately, they fall. The huge thing about, these prison dudes is they pick the women who are good at heart, and particularly vulnerable. And clearly you were okay with that, because after they broke up, y'all, when they do the update on them, Kaleigh still was talking and sending money to that nigga. She literally admitted to the producer. She was like, yeah, I know it's dumb, but I haven't told my friends, because I felt stupid. Y'all, she went back to talking to him. She was like, immediately after he broke up with me, like, I guess after they got done filming, the show had aired the first episode. So now Kaleigh and Kate basically know about each other. So Kaleigh is feeling like stupid. And so Kate, now she's doing her get back with Hunter. She in the back pool with a man named Enrique. Okay. She was in the back, and Enrique was saying, hey, what's up in the background? And Hunter was like, who the fuck is that? And she was like, just my friend. And he was like, so you in the back in your bikini drinking, and I'm just supposed to be okay with that? And she was like, well, shoot, you had an open relationship, so I just figured, I joined the party. When she said that, I started laughing. I was like, that's my type of girl, a girl who can get, she's like, sometimes men need to learn they're not in control. And I was like, yes, I was following you, Kate. I really was, until the end of the episode, when Hunter basically admitted that Kate was like, well, I'm hanging on to Kaleigh because, Kate just kind of feels like if they're dumb enough to keep sending you money, because all Kate know is she ain't trying to have no money come out of her pocket. That's all that Kate know. She's like, I ain't, I want to be with you and all, but I mean, I can't be mad at Kate for like not trying to be a pimp. Like, she ain't spending her money on it. Like, I can't be mad at that, but also, girl, you not innocent in this, in the aspect of, what he's telling these women in order to get money out of them. And so it's like, your hands aren't clean either. But Hunter, it's like, yeah, you also know the confines of, you ain't supposed to be like actually, touching these women physically. But Kaleigh is still taking her ass up to the jail. So it's given this whole little scene at the end, when she was throwing all his stuff in the ground and burying it, was for show. She threw the dildo and the ring. I said, girl, you need to go pawn that ring. But I forgot she got it from the goddamn lingerie shop. But nonetheless, you guys, y'all drop down in the comments, tell me what you feel about this season. What you guys feel about Kaleigh and Kate. Is Kate wrong for, how she's allowing Hunter to go on with Kaleigh? And is Kaleigh stupid for going back to him? Y'all make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'll catch y'all hoes later. Deuces.